Hello. If you're doing portfolio defenses or graduate profiles where people have to demonstrate competencies or uh, some other variation of those types of initiatives, you're going to need some tools to help you manage the workflow, gather and give feedback to students, do some high level aggregation to evaluate the implementation of your program. And we have something that can help you out, and it's called tote, and it's embedded right within the DDL. So if you're already using the DDL, you're pretty much already set to use tote. So let's just do a quick 2-minute tour of tote. I'm going to go ahead and log in. And once I'm there, you can see I can switch to tote mode. And I'm going to start off as a district admin because district admins have to configure your tote for your district. So the two things that they have to do is make sure that the levels are set up for scoring the competency. So these are the levels of mastery that students can display. And so in my case, I've got 4, but I can edit that and I can have 2, 3, 4, or 5 levels. I think 4 is a good number. Then you can put in your labels. And the other part is your outcomes. So what are the major competency outcomes that you want students to do? So you have creative problem solving, are they an effective collaborator, do they have a range of skills, all these things. Again, you can just add new ones, delete old ones. It's pretty easy to kind of set up. All right? And once you've got those two parts, you're all set to go. So I'm going to switch over to a teacher role. And students, when they log in, they can create their artifacts pretty easily. I can actually do this from my teacher account because you can actually have teachers create artifacts and portfolios as well. But the idea is you create a new artifact. I can go and edit that artifact. I can link it to some outcomes. I can link it to some evidence. And we actually have it set up so that you can connect straight to your Google Drive. And there we go. There's my evidence. I'll give it a little label. And there it is. And if I click, it'll just take me to it. Some justification statements where I reflect on the evidence and talk about why it meets a particular outcomes. This is all really important for having a nice sort of program that you can track back and have outside reviewers look at. So I'm going to kind of save that. Good, I'm all done. And then I've included it in my graduate profile, or not my graduate profile. I'll put it in there. Okay, it's that simple to create artifacts. Now, as a teacher, assuming that a student has selected me as a reviewer down here, just like they would in the DDL, I can go and I can review a portfolio. So here's a student that has selected me as a reviewer. So I'm going to click on that, and up pops their profile. There's my scoring levels, the district admin set up. Here's all the artifacts the students have submitted. Here's all the outcomes that they're linked to. The blank ones mean that they haven't been scored or evaluated yet, but I can go in and look at an artifact. And you can see there's the reflective statement, there's the links to the evidence, here's the outcomes. I've actually scored this outcome and someone else has scored them, and we have some different scores. So you can kind of see the average score, which includes these two folks. That's my score and that's the average. So I scored that one a little bit lower than the other person. They scored it high. In this particular case, I scored this one higher and they scored it a little bit lower. But all of this is really important for reflecting on that process. Do people have a shared understanding of what the levels of competency / mastery / proficiency actually mean? And here's some written feedback for the student. Again, important if you want this to be in a learning process, right? You got to give them some sort of feedback, corrective actions to move forward or to make things better. Okay. Here's all my artifacts organized by outcomes. So rather than a list of artifacts, I have what are the outcomes and which artifacts link to that, and at what level have they met that particular outcome. And it also pulls in my DDL badges. Okay. Also here is we have some reporting tools. So if I'm a teacher, I can go in and look at, let's say I'm an advisor, I can look at all the artifacts that have been submitted by the students that have selected me as a reviewer, and I can go in and check them, I can lock them, say there, okay, we're in a good state now. We want to preserve this artifact. Do we want to, you can move things in and out of a portfolio for a student. Let's say they forgot an artifact. You can help them sort of manage it. But it gives you a lot of management tools. If I switch to a district admin, I can go in and see the same audit. This year, in this case, because I'm at a different level, I can see all the students that are attached. In this case, a district. I can see all the students in a district. So there's this one guy, he's got some stuff. There's another guy, he's got some stuff. Again, really great workflow and management tools. You can filter by graduating class, academic years artifacts are created, or if you're looking for a specific student, just go by their last name. Another example of reporting is our program dashboard. So what are the outcomes? What is the distributions of scores? Again, if you don't stop and look at this stuff and evaluate it, you're leaving a lot on the table. And so tote really helps put a front end to all that sort of process to help you kind of look at and reflect and monitor. All crucial things for doing any sort of program. And that's pretty much it for now. We're going to evolve this as more people start using it, but this is tote. And so if you're doing this type of work, it's there, it's free, it's robust, it's based on years of work in lots of different places, School of Music, College of Education, Envision Schools, School of Journalism. So we've got a lot of thinking that goes behind this sort of workflow. But check it out. If you have questions, reach out. We're always happy to listen, take advice, and develop some more.